All right, we are going to make a game called Star Hunter. So let's create a new Scratch document. We are going to use the cat in this game, but let's not have the cat named Sprite1. Let's give him a name. So I'm just going to call him Cat, but you can call him whatever you want. Okay, now that we have our cat set up, we're going to go ahead and add some code to control the cat. So in this game, excuse me, we're going to have the cat follow the mouse pointer around. We're not going to use the keyboard keys or anything like that. So we're going to go to Events, when green flag clicked. And again, since we want it to happen during the entire game, we're going to put a forever block out here. And then under Motion, we are going to find the Go To block. It's going to say random position at first, but we're going to put that in forever and click mouse pointer. Now, if we click the flag, wherever our mouse is on the screen, the cat's going to follow. All right, so now we're going to put a background on this. This is going to be like an underwater adventure. So click on the stage. And then for backdrops, go ahead and click there. And then we're going to choose a backdrop. So search for one here. And I'm going to go ahead and just type in underwater. And there's two you can choose from here. I'm going to pick underwater 2, but if you like the other one better, you can. So this way now we've got a little sea scene, ocean scene, something like that. Okay, next we're going to add a sound to this game. So we're going to put the code right here on the backdrop. So we're going to bring out a when green flag clicked. We're going to bring out a forever block. We're going to go to sound and click on sounds. And we are going to do a search. So I'm in the sound tab right now. I'm going to do a search for, I'm going to call it bubbles. It's right here. I'm going to click that. That loads it into the game, and now I'll be able to play it. So under the code, I'm going to grab play sound and make sure this says bubbles until done. Let's see what this is like. Oh, that's just lovely. That's just lovely. All right, good. Now we need an enemy. We're going to have some enemies that are going to chase the cat. So let's add another sprite, and we're going to search. We're going to choose a sprite and type in octopus. So there's only one to choose from, so we're going to pick the octopus to chase the cat around. So what we want to do here is we want to put in some code to move the octopus. So we're going to go to Events, when green flag clicked. We want this to happen for the entire game, so we're going to do forever. And we're going to go to the Motion category and move 10 steps. And then we're going to find a block that says if on edge, bounce. So this way, if the octopus gets to the edge of the screen, it will bounce. Now, when you test this, you're going to notice something, that the octopus is, number one, just moving left and right, but number two, when it hits the edge of the screen, it just turns upside down. So that's not what we want to happen right here. So what we're going to do is making sure we click on the octopus and then clicking in the direction box. When you do that, you're going to get this little wheel that comes up, but we're actually paying attention to what's underneath it right now. So there's 3 choices here. Number 1 is all around, meaning that the sprite could do a 360-degree flip during the game, which this one's not doing at this point. The one on the right means don't move, don't rotate at all, but the one in the middle is left-right. So that means this character, or this sprite, won't turn upside down, will only flip left to right. So let's run it again. And now we should see that the octopus stays right side up, which is what we want for this game. Okay? Now, what we want to do, though, is we want to make the octopus look like it's swimming around, but give it a little bit of artistic flair, if you will. So with the octopus selected, let's click on costumes. Now, there's 5 costumes for the octopus, but the last 3 don't make a lot of sense. But if you want to leave them in, you can. But I'm going to delete them. So I just click on them and then click the trash can. So I've got 2 costumes now for the octopus. This way it'll make it look like a little bit of motion. So I'm going to add another when green flag clicked. So when green flag clicked, and then a forever block. And I'm going to put a wait, which is still in the control. And I'm going to have it wait 0.2 seconds. And then under looks, I'm going to bring out next costume. So this will just have the octopus every 0.2 of a second. It will just keep switching, and it looks like it's swimming a little bit. Looks a little bit nicer there. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to what's going to happen in this game is if the octopus touches the cat, we want the game to stop. So let's add something to make that happen. So in the first area, we're going to put an if-then statement. So not if-then-else, just if-then. We can put it right at the bottom of the forever block. And we want to say if it's touching the cat. So if touching cat, then we're just going to make it simple. We're going to go to events, control, and down at the bottom, near the bottom, there's a stop all. So this will just stop everything from happening in the game. So right now, if they touch, the game stops. We'll make that a little bit more interesting later, but we should be pretty good with that. Now the one thing we do want to do in this game is we don't want the octopus to start moving right away. We want to give our cat a second because we have to click the green flag and bring our mouse pointer back in the screen, a chance to get in the screen and get away from them. So we're just going to add a wait block to the top of this, and we're just going to have it wait 0.5 seconds. So all that means is the octopus won't start moving for half a second. It gives us a chance to get back into the game right there. All right, so we are a little too big right now, so we're going to add a set size block to this. So under look, we're going to do a set size to the top, and we're going to make the octopus 35% of its original size. So you can see it's a little bit smaller there. The cat, we're going to end up changing that to as well as that. But it's pretty boring right now because the octopus only moves left and right, so we want to give it a little more variety. So what we're going to do under motion is find the point in direction block. We can put that right at the top of the stack, and we're going to do 135 as our value. And then run this, and now you should notice that the octopus is going to bounce around a little bit more of a challenge right there. Okay? All right, good. Now, let's go ahead and duplicate this octopus twice. We're going to have 3 octopi swimming around the screen right here. So I'm just going to right-click and click duplicate, and I'm going to do it a second time. So now I have 3 different octopi on the screen, and if I go ahead and click the start button, they'll bounce all over the place like crazy. Okay? And the goal is going to be to not let them touch us while we collect some things to earn some points. Now, you might decide to change the speed a little bit. Let's say you think they're moving too fast or too slow. The code you would enter is the move 10 steps. So I'm going to change the first octopus to 1, and then watch. There will be, the first octopus is this one right here. I know that because if you click on the sprite, in the sprite area, the sprite that you are editing will kind of highlight right there. And with all 3 of the octopi looking the same right now, this is a good thing to do. So this is the one here. Watch how much slower it's moving than the other 2 because I set that to 1. So you can change the speed by changing the number of steps. I'm just going to change that back to 10. Okay? All right. I'm going to go to octopus number 2 right now. I'm going to change the point in direction. Okay? Right now it's saying 135. Let's make it a little bit more random. So go to operators and grab a pick random block and put that into point in direction. And we're going to make it from -179 to 180. -179 to 180. Okay, so this is octopus 2 right here. So pay attention to him. So that game he went that way. Here he is right here. Let's see what happens. So he will just start in a random direction. Okay, very good. So that makes it, again, a little bit more challenging. All right, next thing we need to do is let's go ahead and adjust the size of our cat. So in the cat, we're going to go ahead and, again, put a set size. So that's under looks. So we're going to do set size. Same thing. We'll do 35%. And then run this. So now the cat's a little bit smaller. It gives us a little bit more room on the screen to play around. All right, so we need to give the cat something to do right now. So we need to add something for the cat to collect. So we're going to add a new sprite. Okay, I'm going to put star, and I'm going to go ahead and pick the starfish. Put the starfish out here. Okay, so this is what the cat is going to try to collect. But let's go ahead and put some code in so that we know how it's supposed to behave. So I'm going to put a when green flag clicked, and then a forever block because we want it to happen for the entire game. and we're going to have the star appear in a random spot in the game. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to put a if-then statement in, and we're going to go to sensing and say if touching the cat, then what we want to do is have it go to a random spot when we do that. So we're going to go to the motion area, and this go to XY, we're going to bring that in here, but we don't want to put in actual values here. We want it to be random. So we're going to put a pick random in each of the XY values. And for X, we're going to say negative 200 to 200. So anywhere on the X-axis from negative 200 to 200, and on the Y from negative 150 to 150. So again, X is horizontal, Y is vertical. Let's go ahead and change the size of the starfish. So we are going to set size. I'm sorry, put that at the top. We'll do 35% again. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's pretty good. You can adjust that a little bit if you want to. So now it looks a little bit better. And then we want to play a sound when we touch the star. So let's go to Sounds and go to the Sound tab. And we are looking for a sound called fairy dust. So start to type that in, and I don't, oh wait, I spelled it wrong. There we go, fairy dust. So click that, it's loaded in now. So now I can go back to the code and put in play sound fairy dust. So we'll put that under here. So let's see what happens when we do this. So now every time I touch the star, it goes to a spot. Okay, very good. So that's what we want to happen right there. One thing we want to do, though, is the star. I don't want the star to appear in the middle of the screen every time. So we're going to bring out this pick random and duplicate it, and then put it at the top, and then put the pick random and the play sound back in there. So now what will happen is when we start the game, the star will always appear in a random spot. Okay, perfect. That's what we want. All right, but now we're collecting these stars. We got to make this do something. So we need a variable. So let's go to variables. Let's make a variable. Let's call the variable star. You want to call it starfish, you can. Doesn't matter. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We don't want to call it that. We want to call it score, because this is a score variable. I apologize. Okay, so score variable, you can leave for all sprites checked. Then what we want to do is in the star code, we want to go ahead and put in a change score by 1. Now, as you know, though, what we want to do is when we start the game, so I collect these stars, I'm at 1, at 2, 3, and now game's over. If I play again, it's going to be at 4, which is where I left off in that game. So we always want to make sure that it is starting at 0. So grab a set my variable, put that at the top of the starfish area, set score to 0. This way, every time we start the game starts at 0. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to make the octopi move a little bit differently, because right now they're all moving with the same way. But let's make them move a little bit more challenging. So click on octopus number 2, and I want you to leave this one alone. Don't delete the change costume, but we're going to get rid of this entire code. Just get rid of it. And we're going to put new code in here for how it works. Okay. So once again, though, we're going to set the size to 35%. We're going to put a wait block in so it doesn't start moving right away. So wait 0.5 seconds. Okay. Bring out a forever loop. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to motion and then find a point towards block. And we're going to say point towards cat. And then we're going to put in move 5 steps. So grab that top one and change the 10 to 5. Now again, the bigger the number, the faster it will move. So when you're playing the game, if you feel like it should be moving faster or slower, you can adjust that. And then we need an if-then block. Again, not if-then else, just if-then. So if touching cat, then stop all, and that will be under control. So now octopi number 2, which is this one right here, is always going to be chasing the cat. It's not going to bounce off the walls as the cat moves around. Okay, so I'm going to hide temporarily the other 2. So this is the only one out there. So watch what he does. No matter where I go, he's going to follow it around. Okay, so now I'm going to turn the visibility of the other 2 on right now. Okay, now let's do the same thing for octopus 3. We're going to have this octopus move a little bit differently. We're not going to delete everything now. I shouldn't have done that last time because then I had to redo a bunch of stuff. Just pull the forever block off for a second and pull everything out of the forever block. But then put the forever block back on it. And we're going to do the glide function now. So in motion, I want you to bring out the glide certain seconds to XY. So we're going to change the 1 to 3. And for the first one, we're going to do 0 for X and negative 150 for Y. We're going to bring out another glide. Again, make sure you bring out the one that has X and Y, not the one that says to random position or anything like that. So we're actually going to do this 3 times. So I'm just going to bring the other 2 out now. The middle one, we're going to do 200 for X and 100 for Y. And then the bottom one, we are going to do negative 200 for X and 100 for Y. That looks pretty good. And then set size 35%. We've got that. Wait 0.5 seconds. That's good. And then finally, go ahead and bring the if touching cat stop all and put that underneath right there. So let's go ahead and preview this and see what it looks like. It's very challenging. So we've got one that is just gliding in certain places. One's bouncing off the walls. There you go. Okay. Now, what you are going to do, that is the basis of the game. There's some things that I'm going to want you to do in this project. Number 1, we need an instruction screen. We need a you lose screen. And I would like you to make sure that the octopi, I want them to look different from each other. I don't want them to all be the same color. So if you look in the looks menu, there's going to be some things in here that you might be able to do to make the octopi look a little bit different from each other. But basically what I want is before the player starts the game, there should be instructions on the screen. Name of the game, how it works, what the goal is. You can actually have it just appear right over without, like you can see this scene here. So I want you to figure out how to do that. It's going to be a new sprite, but you figure out how to do that. Then I want something to pop up when the game is over saying that, you know, you lost, try again, nice try, something like that. Those are things I want you to do, those 3 things. Instruction screen, you lose screen, and make the octopi different colors from each other, however you want to do that. You can also tweak how fast they move, how slow they move. If you want to change some of the characters, if you don't want it to be the cat, you want it to be something else, those are all things you can change as well. All right, good luck to you. Can't wait to see what you come up with.